Welcome to our first ever recap show. This is a new thing that we're trying out where we try to make our battle reports a little shorter by taking the recap and the Q&A to another video. So thanks for joining us for this. We really want to hear your feedback. Why don't we just jump in? Why don't we start talking about this game? This was one hell of a blowout.
Oof, that was nuts. I'm excited because we got to see the Tau really thrive and do Tau kind of things, right? So that was really cool. Having said that, they just dominated the board.
They did too much of the Tau thing.
They did so much of the Tau thing.
They were just so oppressive the whole time.
Exactly.
And the indirect meant that no matter what, you couldn't hide forever.
Yep.
Right? And the direct fire was blistering.
That's right. Yeah, and the indirect was really interesting because it was just enough. I think it was just enough to reliably kill things like Venoms before they were able to pop out and do their thing.
Yeah, or like units that you would stage to get ready for points the next turn.
Exactly.
They just couldn't stage there, which meant you had less assets to pop up, take the points.
And it also means even on, we saw a couple of times on the corners where I need to keep guys in Venoms because otherwise they're just going to die. But if they're in a Venom, you only need
I could get one troop onto it, or even a single
not
drone.
a troop, right?
Yeah.
So that was an interesting that came up. Yeah.
What do you think? This particular Tau army, the Drukhari, we were just talking about this, almost any Drukhari build would struggle here.
It would definitely be a tough time, which is interesting because this is two very different approaches to the game, right? So this is very much an older style kind of like movable castle. You're going to be shooting your opponents to death. The Drukhari list, on the other hand, is all about just scoring.
It's a very 9th edition.
It's a very 9th edition army, and that was tough. That was tough.
I would love to hear people's suggestions for what Drukhari army they would build and what tactic they would use.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think it was pretty tricky, right? Like we knew that the matchup we were going to do Drukhari versus Tau. We wrote the list with the broadsides because we were like, okay, we're going to write a skewed list.
That's the main thing we wanted to show.
Yeah, we're going to see can the Tau do this thing?
Yep.
And then it was like, okay, what could you write that would have a chance?
Right.
And the only thing that I think really got us there was the Tantalus being 18 wounds.
Yeah, that was...
Right?
Oh.
Because when we were writing the list, we both didn't take that into account.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, the Tantalus is going to be able to fire and fade every turn.
Right.
So it'd be pop out, pop some shots, and it would kind of be alive all game. And it would be reliably stripping drones.
Yes,
and
that's
then
the thing.
Probably by turn 4 or 5, it would start killing suits. But it would keep me more honest.
Yeah, 100% agree. And again, that's a thing where I was able to drop behind line of sight blocking. It wasn't, I mean, this is obscuring, but it was the true line of sight that was keeping him safe. So this is a case where
we probably should have put that
swapped
back
that to there.
If we could do it again, if we could do it again right now, we'd build a wall this tall at the back, which would allow him to fire and fade all turn. Sure, he'd take some SMS, but it would take a lot more turns of SMS to do it.
Oh, absolutely.
And
because they're winning him on 5s at that point.
Yeah, 5s re-rolling,
Yep.
but only one unit.
Yeah.
And it was really the missiles that were wounding on 4s, and then re-rolling, and a particularly oppressive roll for me. I rolled all 5s to hit, all 5s to wound, and all 5s on damage.
That's right.
You know, any unit in the game that does that is going to kill what it shoots at most of the time.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely.
So it was one of the perfect units against rolling as hot as it can roll.
Right.
It's going to go down.
Yeah. One thing I did love, and this is something that Drukhari are really good at, is obviously scoring around the board, but things like scramblers, right? It was very, very comfortable.
There was nothing I could do to stop it.
There was no way to stop it, so I could just kind of, I decided when to scramble and where to scramble, and that was really, really nice and really useful. Yeah. I do like the Scourge. And just running them super cheap like that is really tasty.
Yeah, I think that was pretty good. So you're going to give me an MVP for this game?
Ooh. It is... I mean, I'm still happy with the Venoms, to be honest. I still like them as transports that are fast. They're smaller than the Raiders. They gave you the most
amount of play.
Yeah, they can hide, and they do punch. We had a couple times where it's like, bam, 2 damage into drones. Yeah. You need that to deal with shield drones too, right? So it's the Venom, just the classic unit. They're awesome in 9th edition, and this is actually more than I've run before. This is 5 of them. That's why I had a couple in different colors. So I like them, and I'm excited to get that new box set that comes with another Venom for me.
That'll be great.
So, yeah. What about you?
For me, I'm going to give it to the Magna Rails. The Magna Rails do something interesting. Not only every time they shot, they just one-shotted. Right. They killed a Reaper. They killed a second Reaper. Their indirect fire picked up 2 separate squads of Scourge. Right. Like they didn't get to shoot that many times. Every single time, both guns were a full lights out. Which that was only 2 models. It's pretty good. If it was 3, it would be really scary. But one of the key things this adds to this army, the whole army is range 36. And you can have someone who keeps you at arm's length because you're so slow. Yeah. This is scary enough that the big thing you keep at arm's length can still get killed. And so it takes away that as an option as a way to beat this army.
Yeah, absolutely. Because again, that was one of the tactics that I could try to use is Even especially here on this battlefield, like an angle to the side where I'm just getting enough line of sight. Most of them are out of range of an SMS, and where I'm cutting off like half the broadsides. Those the rails actually kept me like 100% honest. They decided to just delete a Reaper when they felt like it, right?
Yeah.
So it's cool. I'm a big fan. This is my favorite build for the broadsides, to be honest.
I agree.
I think it's really cool.
I'm really excited about them too.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to do this match again when you get a Codex and see.
That's true. Yeah.
Because this is the thing. This is actually a good army. There are things that can beat it, but I think this army would be oppressive for a lot of armies in the game right now. I'm gonna kind of theory craft later some of the best armies in the game and how they would actually play against this. Because it would be tough, especially because the Overwatch is really difficult.
I think it'd be cool to try this Tau army again in a different one. They obviously can play with the bigger boys. Yeah. So I think we should try that out at some point.
We should give them a harder opponent.
Yeah, because everyone wants, like, broadsides are just cool models. Yeah. It's a cool concept for an army. So I think we'll have to try this again against a tougher opponent.
This is a particularly favorable mission for this army, though. So if we went to a hold 1, hold 2 with a lot more objectives, I'd find myself
hold 2, hold 3.
Hold 2, hold 3. I'm sorry, with much more objectives. I'd find myself very disadvantaged by my castle, whereas my castle here was not disadvantaging me in any way. Yeah. Right, and so that's definitely a thing to keep in mind. Absolutely. We'll put them in a more precarious position, like a hold 2, hold 3, against like one of a top tier army. We'll see how they hang.
That'd be cool. I like it. Shall we dive into some?
Let's do some Q's and A's. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Questions.
Thank you, Jarl. For the greater good.
Yeah.
Delighted to see the Tau. Thanks for the consistently great content. Which battlesuit would you ask out on a Valentine's date?
Probably a stealth suit.
Maybe a human-sized one? That's what you're going for?
Probably, it's just the mechanics of anything else. I don't know how that works.
No, for me, it's got to be a ghost kill.
It's a ghost kill.
In all of the pictures of anime, there's people hanging off the arm of a giant robot.
But for you, the funny thing is, he would be around telling everybody, "Oh, did you see my date?" And they're like, "No." And he would be telling everybody, "Oh, it's my girlfriend from Canada," and it would be completely invisible the whole time. It's like, "No, you don't understand. It was like a 12-foot tall giant suit." And they're like, "Yeah, Bridger, I think we would have noticed that."
That's amazing. I love that.
Also, it has to come with its 2 drones, which are like super third wheel,
That's true.
Third and fourth wheel.
Yeah. Third and fourth wheel. That's super weird.
Well, but
although you never
like
know. You never know they're there. They just come up at the worst time. Like you're just getting drinks, like 2 drinks, you bump into them and spill, and you're just like, "Oh, guys." Like, so
it sounds like a sitcom.
It does.
I would totally watch the sitcom. They would call it 2.5 Drones.
Yeah. And he's the half.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I love this.
I like it.
All right.
Yeah.
Hollywood, contact us.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Thanks, Red Zero. Strategic reserves. Does it work like this? You just have to be wholly within 6 inches of an eligible board edge. It doesn't say anything about more than 6 inches from your opponent's board edge, which is what it would need to say if that was the intention. Thank you.
Yeah. So what they're asking for is when you pay CP to use the strategic reserve ability, you can come in on different board edges on different turns. You can never come in on your opponent's board edge. In previous games, and a lot of people will play where you have to stay 6 inches away from their board edge. We've actually played it that way before. But we double-checked the rules, and it seems as though you're right.
I think you're probably right. So what it does, where this is coming from is you pick a board edge, and that board edge it can never be your opponent's board edge, right?
Right.
So you can be next to that board edge, but the 6 inches...
You can be literally touching it.
You can be touching it, but the 6 inches that you're coming within is a different board edge, right? So it's a coincidence that you happen to be next to the other one.
Right.
Which, we've definitely been playing the other way.
We just assumed, because that almost feels like the better way to word the rule, but they just didn't. We blah, blah, blah'd it.
We definitely blah, blah, blah it. I'm mostly sure this is correct, but there's just enough of doubt in the back of my mind that they worded it badly.
The way we play it is probably the way they should have written it.
Maybe, yeah.
It is almost definitely the way they should have written it.
Maybe? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Because keeping that opponent's board edge a little more sacred, because outflanking is already powerful.
Yeah.
And keeping their board edge a little more sacred, I actually like.
Sure.
And so I think that's probably the way the rule should work, but it doesn't appear to be the way it does work.
Yeah. Good question.
Yeah, great question.
Yeah.
Alrighty, thanks, Daniel. Hey guys, long-time listener, first-time super chat. Playing my Necrons against new Death Guard soon. What are some recommended units to take against them?
Ooh, so Death Guard are interesting because they kind of challenge the way that Necrons traditionally want to play.
Right. Sure.
Necrons are like great at getting up close to points, unloading the Reapers, just kind of being a bully on the point. And the Death Guard, the one thing they want is to get up close.
They want to bully the point too.
So that makes it tougher, to be honest. You kind of want to keep them at arm's length when you can. And again, you're either going to want mass volume of shots, which you have with Warriors, or you're going to want high damage, so things like Destroyers become more interesting.
That's true. Destroyers could duel.
Destroyers are good with a higher
as long as they got to counterpunch.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
You would need your warriors to take the hit first.
Right.
And then you'd have to come in.
Yeah. Things like Wraiths will get hit super hard because they rely on that 2 damage, which always goes down to 1.
That's right.
And yeah, generally speaking, the melee Necrons are going to have a tougher time because of the Foul Blight spawn, because of the -1 damage.
Let's be real, those Gauss Reapers, though, are going to rip.
They're great for that.
Like, right?
They're perfect.
AP 2, 1 damage, strength 5.
Yeah.
You can kill a lot of Plague Marines with Gauss Reapers.
It's awesome.
And even the Terminators, because you'll take them up to their 4 up invul. So you can put in some real work.
Yeah.
And you take a few of the strats that pop some mortal wounds here and there,
Yep.
get a bit more efficiency, because they don't save against the mortal wounds anymore.
Naturally.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's one of the best armies at taking on Mortarion.
Yes, it is. You can see that in our
Mortarion
video.
That's right.
So yeah, a couple things to keep in mind. I think we're gonna have to shift some of these types of lists. I think like the super obsec style of Necrons is gonna have to shift. They're gonna have to adapt because they used to kind of just like blob on a point and be like, this is mine, you can never take it. And now the Death Guard are like, sure, I'll just walk on and like disintegrate everything.
Yeah, well, these days there's things that turn off the obsec.
Yeah.
Not
for Necrons.
Not
though.
for Oh, really?
Because it's just a chapter tactic, right? So there's no way to actually remove that.
Oh, right.
Which is nice. This is actually a big bonus. It hurts Marines because Rites of War you can turn off, but double obsec from chapter tactic you actually can't. Or the Dynasty tactic.
Cool.
So that's nice.
Nice. Great.
Alrighty, thanks, Stellor. CP all around. For today is my birthday.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Hope y'all a good match.
Thank you.
You needed the CP because you weren't regenning any of them
I
in
know.
that game. I regened like the maximum amount that you could regen in that game, which was just twisting the knife in your side.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna rewatch it over and over again, just counting how many times I missed. I'm like, it doesn't add up.
Exactly. It was like 11 rolls.
It was so many.
Yeah.
This is why I don't take chances though, right? I've been hurt before.
I always get the max number of CP with my Pure Tide Engram
I know.
I always take it. It's like, okay, there's my 5 CP relic. Great.
Yeah. I should take the tally man next time and see how many I get.
Yeah.
Like 2 maybe? 1?
Thanks, Charles. Sorry, I've been gone for so long. I was kidnapped by mimes.
That's the worst.
That's the worst.
They threatened unspeakable things if I didn't paint my minis.
Very nice. Very nice.
It's a good one.
That's so good.
Just tell them that they're black and white, you know?
That's right.
It's fine.
Thanks, Scott. Guys, I'm furiously painting my Drukhari for a coming GT. Given the uncertainty before a new book, any thoughts on what units to focus on painting?
Ooh, that's always tough.
That's so tough.
Troops are always good, right? You always need troops, so paint your troops.
But which troops? This army has 3 sets of, like, it's like...
Paint your Harlequin troops. Troops are always good.
That's the problem, right? Like, do you go hard into Rax? Do you go hard into Cablites? Do you go hard into Witches? Do you get a bit of each? This book is almost the definition of a book that you can't call in advance.
No.
There's some books you can call in advance.
Yeah.
Not this book.
Well, especially like, because right now you're like, cool, like play Rax, but then like currently they did drop-in points, and I don't know, I feel like something has to change if they're going to be dropping in points, because that seems too good right now. So it's like, you can build out to them right now, they'll be really good, but I have no idea what's going to happen in the future, right?
The book can't be that far out. They've started previewing it.
Yeah.
It's got to be just within weeks.
Yeah.
So
it was funny, the article about the Splinter Cannon, it like totally split people about, like half the people were like, this definitely means they're absolutely coming. Another group was like, oh no, this is because this is the boxes are going to come out, and they want to be ahead of that. And it's like either one way or the other. Like, this is definitely because they're coming later. This is definitely because they're coming now.
Well, they're coming. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah, they're coming. I'm optimistic about Incubi. The increased damage.
Right, because they did preview that.
They did.
You know what? Let's go paint some Incubi.
Honestly, yeah.
You're painting 30.
I am painting my 30 of them.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
He's 3 Raiders.
Yeah,
that's
30 Incubi. That's awesome. This army has never been able to play that.
Because here's the thing: you look at their new weapons. You look at the points that are currently published. They're very reasonable.
Yeah.
And so I struggle to think of what they would take away from Incubi to make that bad.
They're gonna come out and be 45 points each, Adrian.
They're like a Blade Guard.
It could be like the Reavers, right? Or
yeah.
But I don't know. I feel optimistic about them. We'll see.
Yeah.
So.
Alrighty, thanks, Tris. Hey, Titans, I'm gonna have to stick up for my boy Tiggy. He gets +1 to cast and deny for all disciplines, -1 to hit on a core unit.
Oh, that's good.
And is only 15 more points than a Chief Librarian. Yes, but he doesn't get a relic or his choice of warlord trait.
Didn't we talk about this?
We did, yes. Different, like I said, several people.
Okay.
So people really love Tiggy.
Like
I like Tiggy too. He's just not necessarily my favorite. Trying to bring up the Ultramarine book.
Yeah.
Because so it's +1 to all disciplines. That's good. Because we were just guessing that it was not. Because most of the other ones
Ezekiel is just
+1.
his.
Exactly. ST is just that much better.
He's not bad. It's just it's also a customization thing, which is a philosophy that we have. You know, you see different people play it differently.
Yeah.
We like to be able to tech them out to be very flexible and do lots of different roles.
Yeah.
So you know, the Chief Librarian is going to give you different options.
Right.
Say we mostly like them better, the three of us, but you're definitely not wrong if you're running them. It's like the Talon Master, right?
The +1 to deny is pretty good.
That's very nice.
There exist lists where Tigurius is the right choice, for sure.
Deny 2 at +1 is pretty tasty.
But there
only
are
15 points more.
Many more armies where different option is better.
Right, yeah. Being Chief doesn't give you any of those?
No.
It's +1 to cast only?
And yeah, it's only +1 to cast.
And you stick with 1 deny?
He gets +1. Yeah, that's right. So this guy's getting 2 denies at +1, cool. Which, that's kind of good.
It's cool because you're not running more than 1 Psyker, so everything, like the...
Well,
and by the way, he rerolls Psychic Tests.
How often?
So he's considerably better.
You actually get to deny, though.
What?
People just pre-measure and they cast outside
not
the
always.
range.
There's a lot of powers that are 18 and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's good, and it makes them have to play outside. So you know what? Chief Librarian Tigurius, the best Chief Librarian I've seen so far.
The best named character Chief Librarian.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Interesting.
Right.
Better than Ezekiel?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
At being like a Psyker.
Yeah. But he has better powers and he does other stuff.
Oh yeah, Ezekiel has way better powers. Yeah, no doubt.
So are you saying Ezekiel's better than Tigurius?
No. Because listen, the Librarius discipline, like forget the Ultramarines discipline, the Librarius discipline is amazing.
Yeah.
And just getting to cast 2 of those reliably and denying, it's worth it.
It's good.
It's good.
All right.
Fine, I'll take Tigurius, you take Ezekiel,
I will.
We'll battle.
Let's do it.
All right. It's a challenge has been declared.
All right, thanks. Torrential, first time catching live from Australia. Love the
cool.
content.
Welcome.
Question for Bridger is Jetbike Captain, Alaris Captain, 3 Custodians, 3 Sagittarium, 3 Venatari, 3 Virtus Tanalaris, and an Achilles a reasonable place to start?
Yeah, of course.
Start, like, these are the first models you're buying?
Yeah, this is like their starting point.
Whoa. There's a lot of Forge World in there for first models that you're buying.
Yeah, that's the way I started too.
I mean, when you're in Australia, you might as well.
It's all the same.
It's all infinite money?
Yeah.
Here's what I'll say. 3 Custodian Guard, very little.
Yeah, 6 is nice, little. Right? 2 units of shields.
Unless he means 3 boxes. Because you can't even get 3. You get 5 in a box.
Okay. Well, maybe, yeah.
Is it 5 in a box, though?
Yeah. Because it's 4 in a Vexilla, essentially.
So 15 is plenty, conversely.
Yeah, but it wouldn't get 3 boxes.
I don't think he's talking about 3 boxes.
That's a pretty big list already.
It's a lot of points.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would say. Is you are 1, you're missing a Vexilla. And 2, 3 Custodian Guard is just not enough.
Yeah.
Is the Vexilla its own kit? No.
No, it's a guard. All the kits.
Right.
The
so
Terminators,
if
the Wardens.
3 boxes.
I think the Terminators, Wardens, and they all come with a Vexilla, basically.
Yeah.
You're going to be really upset when you see my Deathwing Ancient.
Because you used a Vexilla?
Yeah.
I have so many of them.
No, it's one of yours, actually.
Is one of mine?
Because you gave me a bunch of bits.
I gave you like a pile of them.
It was like pre-primed with gold. I'm like, this makes it even better.
Yeah.
It's going to be underneath. No one will know, but I'll know. And Bridger will know.
I love it.
So it'll be good.
Well, now everyone will know.
Yeah.
It would never happen in the lore. Okay? It's not all right.
No, I like
Pretty
it
sure
because it's like, they say that they actually, it was given to them by the Custodes. But Bridger's not so sure.
That's what they say.
It would never happen.
It was given to them as a gift of respect.
He like one of the librarians like interomancied the dude and is like, you want to give me your Vexilla? And the dude's like, I think I want to give you my Vexilla.
He mind wormed them. He's like, also you fight last.
Steps out, right away.
All right, thanks, Vex. Brian, you did well piloting my forces before. I will entertain this betrayal, but you will be piloting them again once released. Do not disappoint me.
I'll probably try them again. I've always had a big affinity for the style of play with all the boats.
Yeah,
I love the boats.
They're so cool.
I've never actually had much love for the infantry of the army. I've loved always the boats, and I've loved the like Hellions and things like that. All the like flying mounted
They're
stuff.
So cool.
I like the jet bikes theoretically, but I don't love the models. I don't love
That's heresy.
I know they're okay.
That's like the modern.
They're so 80s.
bike. What?
The Drukhari?
All Eldar are fairly 80s
ones?
They're the newer.
They're like retro 80s.
Yeah.
Where they're like, they sound like they're from the 80s, but they actually look better than the 80s. Yeah. Right?
So I'm just saying I don't love them so much because all the other vehicles are super clean, and they're actually they're not as clean. They're not as sleek. They're a little more choppy with more like ridges and things. And so I like the cleanness of everything else. That is what I love about it.
Right.
And that unit kind of takes it away from me. Same with like the racks and stuff. Like it's not that clean look.
Well, it's not a Brian look for sure.
So I love playing a boat army. So I'll definitely try it one time with like all the cleanest boys.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Like I'll play the Incubi. They're clean.
Yeah, they're clean.
Yeah, just the clean boys. Clean it up.
Drukhari is not the faction for a clean freak.
Not at all.
All right, thanks, Nick. Thanks for the show, guys. UK Newborn Shift. Oh, congrats.
Ooh, nice.
Question for Brian. Why do you prefer blobs of Sangers over Fire and Forget MSU for a competitive Blood Angel? I worry on overinvestment, be it overkill or bounce off.
You're 100% correct that is the #1 risk with that army, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
That's the thing that could go wrong is you've got these big blobs. Someone can either just like neutralize them with a spell to fight last, or they draw a beat on them and they just wreck them. So it is a huge liability. There's a number of armies. I'd say the majority of armies can't do that, and so they just steamroll.
Yep.
And in the games that my opponent can do that, there's only going to be 1 or 2 opportunities, and I bet on my ability to outplay my opponent in like that scenario.
Yeah.
So I've made the army easier to pilot in that way for myself. So I'm betting that easier for me is going to yield better results than my opponent's chances to dig out around.
Yeah, well, no, that's a real like design philosophy in your list building, right?
Sure.
It's like, where are you building safeguards for yourself? Where are you keeping it simple? Whereas, you know, there's the classic like, oh, if I combo all these 3 things, you know what I can do? It's going to be crazy. You're never going to get that off, right? And so maybe if you're a really good player, you can, but you're already working very hard to make that happen. So it's an interesting design philosophy as far as like building in not only efficiency but simplicity into your list in order to perform better.
I would probably, after the last Blood Angels game we did, I was in love with my unit of Death Company.
Yeah.
Simply because of how much work Forlorn Fury did for me.
Yep.
Forlorn Fury was reckless.
It was really great.
And the risk of Forlorn Fury is always just as dangerous as the actual of it. And so I would probably go down to 2 squads and then a 10-man squad. So the next time I play a really heavy-hitting squad or army, I will have only 20 Sangard, and then I'll have 10 Death Company.
Yeah, I think, it was cool seeing the 30 Sangard, but I think after having done that and played more, I don't think it's my top Blood Angels list anymore.
And I own 20 Sangard, so I actually don't even need new models to do this.
That's true.
So it's perfect, because I'm not going to buy another 10 Sangard. I was borrowing when I did it for the tournament.
That's right.
Well, you also didn't just build Sangard, Brian. You built Venatari Sangard. You like kitbashed.
Yeah, that's why I'm not going to do
$1,000 of models to make.
That's true.
Sangard.
I really wanted to do it. I've been thinking about it for a long time. I just did it.
It was a cool
Who cares?
Thanks, Zethaska. The second vaccine dose has given me a 102 fever. Oof. The nurse said the best medicine were the dulcet tones of Adrian saying blah, blah, blah.
It's true.
It's science.
It's like vaccine, blah, blah, blah science, you know?
Yeah,
that's all, it's all good. Well, hopefully you feel better soon.
You might want a second opinion.
No, listen, that nurse knows what they're talking about.
Yeah. You definitely need to listen to them.
That's right.
Thanks, Thor Machine. Adrian, please do more map intros.
More? Yeah, totally. So this was a new thing that we were trying. Because
was this the first time they saw with
that's
the voiceover, right?
This is the very first one. We will be doing that moving forwards. We did a few experiments kind of figuring out the tone. You know, it's very easy to be cheesy with these things. But we also do actually put a lot of thought into why people are fighting here, especially since we started doing the war zones.
Right.
So it's cool to be able to like just present that nicely and
we put as much work into our train as we do our armies.
Yeah.
So it's fun to give it a moment to shine.
Absolutely. So we'll be doing that moving forward. So thank you very much. Glad you enjoyed it.
Thank you, Robert. If Brian wants a third OG Fort Will broadside, I got one I can donate, though she took a fall off a table back in the day and is a little worse for wear.
These, we didn't give you any close-ups on these, but I did not like clean these models back in the day. I didn't do much, like I probably primed them way too thick.
Yeah, a little bit.
They're like not amazing.
That adds to it though.
I didn't know that you had to wash resin at the time. And so you could see like, there's a spot where the paint is just like, totally peeled off.
Yeah.
So and you see how thick the yellow is?
It's beautiful.
Because it had to go on many times.
5 thick coats?
Because it had to go over black.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what I was talking about. So anyways, these are old models. They have a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
But if your model's in bad condition, what I'm trying to say is it'll fit right in.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I feel like that's par for the course with these old classic models.
These two old models, they and I didn't unwarp them. You can see the guns are warped, and I didn't know about heating or warping. I didn't know what I was doing, so I like
it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Good.
I actually didn't buy these from Forge World Online. I bought them from like a Warhammer Day that came to Toronto, where they had like a Forge World booth, and I was like a kid, and I took the bus to go, and I got them. It was
That's
great.
magical.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Wow.
All right, thanks, Matt. Best Dark Angels leader, Lionel Richie or Lion O. Johnson?
Oh, it's got to be Lionel Richie for sure.
Oh, naturally.
Yeah.
He's the one, that's the secret to keeping in the rock this whole time.
Yeah, that's right. That's so good.
Thanks, Bobson.
1
CP to both of the players, and this money should go to Bridger so he can get some actual food.
This is true.
I can't comment on this.
You guys.
He's going to get mad at me again.
You guys. Just eat what you like.
Nope. eat healthy. Don't just eat what you like. Bad advice. Everything in moderation. Even Taco Bell in moderation could be fine.
Thanks, Rowdy. Hey, Titans. Will Brian use his Relic of Good Talk to get +2 to all his dice rolls in this game?
I did, actually. I didn't declare it, but I clearly did.
Oh my gosh. That was rough.
Good talk.
Good talk.
Thanks, New Flu. If you guys were to soup in Havocs or Obliterators into a Thousand Suns army, which Legion would you take? Or would investing into Dreads be better? Thanks, guys.
I'd go Iron Hands. If it's like strictly just that.
If you're just trying to make it as strong as it could be.
Iron Hands?
He's talking about Iron Warriors.
Iron Warriors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Heresy.
That's all I'm saying.
Iron Warriors. Yeah, Iron Warriors, because they have the strat to reroll the random profile.
Yep.
And that's pretty. They have other stuff, but that's the main thing you need.
Yeah, and you're still slash. You can still make them slash and double shoot. And the thing is, like, then you don't have to take the Malefic Lord or the
You're talking about the Demon Caster.
The Demon Caster, anyways, because that's the other way to. You can give them the invuln, which you can't get normally with Iron Warriors, but more importantly, it gives you the reroll, one of the D3s.
Yeah, that's right.
Iron Warriors, you can
reroll
just
all
use
three
the
of them.
strat. Yeah, it's really, really good. And then you can use your slot with like a cheap Lord to give them also rerolls of 1 or something like that. Havoc's similar sort of thing, and they also have a strat to make them untargetable if you have cultists around them.
Do they? I thought that was only the Alpha Legion.
No, that's a different one.
Oh,
this is,
wow.
It's like a tide of flesh or something.
Well, it's great.
So it's cool. It is.
Tide of flesh. It's chaos for you.
Iron flesh.
Thanks, Famous Oaks. Save for Q&A. Done.
We did it.
Thanks for the content. Do you think sticking to Tau, even in competitive games, is worth for perfecting them, or play something else till they're good again? That's a tough call.
I'd say right now, give them a whirl. Try to make it work. They have tools. The fallback and shoot is a genuine tool.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, this definitely reinvigorated them, right? Are they still fighting from behind? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But now you have new things to actually try out, experiment. I agree. I think before, even you kind of sat it out a bit because it just wasn't as fun. It wasn't fun playing when you're that much down. But now you have a couple tricks in your bag. Yeah. It makes it interesting.
Like, for instance, in this game, like a single Cavalite squad or something, like a rack squad could have like been out of line of sight and tried to come in on something. And you could have had Scourges trying to come back through the wall at me.
Oh, totally.
Things like that. And they would have been really viable strategies. And now I can afford to move and be reckless because it's not a real threat.
Yeah.
Because the Overwatch is so dangerous.
It's really nasty.
And then the fallback, it's like it's not even worth attempting.
You do like Tau Step currently, though, right? Because of that.
Yeah,
feels like the way to build around it.
Because still their liability is getting touched.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. You have to watch out for any time that they're able to like tag something else or like charge something else and then swing in.
Right.
So you do have to be very, very careful with that kind of stuff. But if you're careful with that, then making them take the wall of Overwatch is really good.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks, Ian. 5 EMU dollary dues.
Thank you.
Can't catch all the game. Got a wedding to go to. You guys should suit up for a game for the greater good. Building my first Forge World model and advice. By the way, it's 2 boxes of Venatari.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so Pistol and Shield Venatari, we love.
That's the way to go.
We love.
Wash your resin.
We don't, wash your resin. We don't actually own any. They were on loan to us for a while. They've gone back.
Yeah.
So we've got to get some.
Fix that. We're kind of in love with those right now, so that'll be cool.
But on Saturday, I'm bringing my Telemon just for Bridger. And watch, he's going to wreck.
Yeah. Hey, sure I love the Telemon, man. Yeah. I'm a Telemon supporter. I'm pro Telemon for sure. Yeah.
All right, thanks, Cody. Hey, Titans, love your games. Just started Ravenwing because I love the lore and it's a compliment to my wife's Blood Angels.
Nice.
Great.
How many bikes is too much? And is it good to take 2 to 3 attack bike squadrons with multi-meltas with apothecary support for anti-tank?
It's really good.
Yeah.
You do want to... Yeah, I think if you're going to go with 2 attack bikes, might as well go to 3 because of the apothecary. You want to have just enough buffer so that it's hard for someone to wipe you completely.
You always want one to live.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Then you can res it.
And you res them back. It's really great. We were just talking about that right
before the show. Attack bikes are overly efficient, especially with the invuln.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah.
Attack bikes have been overly efficient for a long time.
But once you give them a 5-up invuln,
nobody owns them,
and you give them fallback and shoot and all kinds of other good stuff.
Yeah,
they become downright excellent.
And so this is actually where you can use the new Deb Doctrine really effectively because they can auto dance 6 plus the 3 inches. Now you're shooting multi-meltas with only -1 to hit, whereas normally you can't because they're heavy.
Right.
It's a huge threat bubble that's really, really nasty. So yeah, for sure. I'm gonna collect some up right now. I was working on some Outriders, but I want to add those as well.
We only have a couple, and so it wasn't one of the things we showed off last week, right?
No, yep.
Yeah.
Thanks, Joseph. Hey, Titans. People on my main TTS Discord are still saying that Newmont Caw doesn't give fallback and shoot because you can fall back without moving. Please tell me why they're wrong. Thank you.
I can explain this.
You can fall back without moving.
You can't fall back without moving.
So here's the way it works. In 8th edition, fallback was an effect. It wasn't a type of movement. It was like, did you fall back or not? But it wasn't a type of movement. And so you could count as not moving. Like, let's say you fell back, but you didn't count as moving. Okay. Cool, you still counted as falling back. That was 8th edition. Yeah. And so it would not have worked using 8th edition rules. In the 9th edition codex, they specified several different types of movement. You could stand still, you could advance, you could do a normal move, or you could do a fall back. These are all discrete types of move, and you can only do one. So when I fall back, that is a type of movement. Counting as not moving means I take whatever type of movement I would have done, an advance, a normal move, a standstill, or whatever, and they count as the standstill type of move.
Right.
Which means I did not fall back, which means I can shoot.
That was a great description.
Yeah.
That was very well said.
Yeah.
Also, the thing about flying movement, or flying models falling back without moving is just silly. You can't fall back without moving. Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
I can't think of a single scenario where you can fall back without moving.
I think, are they saying that you just have a vertical movement of 0?
Right,
you're going down
still,
more than 5.
It's
that
still
was
a move.
Still movement.
Right,
yeah.
You're still moving the model.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct. You are still moving the model.
Yeah, don't listen to them.
Yeah.
Alrighty, thanks, Broken Chef. Hey, Titans, feeling down on demons tonight. Nurgle survives, but can't kill Slaanesh, and Khorne can't survive and only moderately kills. Help.
Yeah. No, it's a tough thing. So, like, I think that's a good thing to keep in mind, right? Where people say that demons are in a great spot, and they are overall. But this is
a third of the book.
It's a third. Yeah, it's a third of the book. It's part of it, and you want to be able to run Mono God. You want to be able to play in a certain way. And Chaos Demons have always been hurt by this, where it's like, oh yeah, Chaos Demons are amazing. You're like, no, you're talking about a subsection
One
of the book.
One specific build.
Yeah,
is amazing.
and in many ways, for many players, this is for discrete armies. So
I agree.
I do feel your pain. I mean, hopefully in the new book they'll kind of make this more interesting.
My favorite of the gods is Khorne.
Yeah,
and if I would want to play mono Khorne. Yeah. I also love mono Tzeentch. Those are my two favorites, and I only ever want to play mono.
Yeah.
Like I don't want a soup. That's not what the army is for me.
Right.
And so yeah, for me, the two armies I just named are the two bottom of that book, and they suffer a lot.
Yeah.
Right. Conversely, you like playing Slaanesh, and we played a Slaanesh game recently against a very strong Space Marine faction. And they wrecked.
Yeah, it's true.
They wrecked.
It's true. They're really great.
Right? They were so strong.
Exactly.
So Slaanesh, great. But yeah, the whole book really suffers.
Yeah, especially when they're all designed to be playing towards this particular role. Right. And it's like, well, okay, so therefore you probably need multiple roles to be able to perform well. Like that's the thing with Space Marines is they do all these roles well.
Yeah, one unit does everything.
Yeah, but it's like, oh, I'm just this melee guy. It's like, you can't really build a whole army around that.
That's right, yeah. So I do hope they fix it.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, thanks, Dylan. Tau idea. 10 squads of Daleth Pathfinders with network marker lights in an Ox support detachment to strike and face them into safety, yay or nay. That's their Fire and Fade, right? There's a Sept locked Fire and Fade.
Really?
Hold on. So they can Fire and Fade, yeah, but it's only with one unit, right?
A squad of 10.
Yeah. Also, it's a 10-man squad.
Yeah.
I thought they said 10 squads.
I heard that too.
They did, yeah.
I thought, okay.
10 squad.
10 squads. So one squad of them Fire and Fading with, so what this is the upgrade prototype weapon system version, which is an assault.
Okay.
So they can move and shoot without penalty.
Yeah.
So you can get out, pop a ton of marker lights, and then hide them again. Would this be good? Yes. Absolutely.
Use it this game.
Yeah, I absolutely could have used it anywhere. It is good. It's a good way to get marker lights. So I'm all for it. Go for it. It's great.
That's a lot of CP.
Because it's 2 to move, right?
It's an Ox, and you have to pay for the relic, and you have to pay to Fire and Fade.
When you're an Ox, do you get strats? So I guess you have the book. So yeah, you get the strats.
The books give strats.
Yeah. Interesting.
Your main detachment gives you the strat that you can use on.
And you don't get your benefits, but you use your strats.
You don't need their strat.
Right.
Their benefit is
the keyword.
Their benefit is if they stand still, they get +1 save.
Right. Yeah.
Which is meaningless.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's one of the you're always paying a price with those when you're trying to tech into something.
Tau don't need their strats a whole lot.
That's true.
With you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. How many CP do you have at the end of this game?
11. You get 11 at the end of the game. Which started.
And I.
11. Well, you had 9.
Yeah, I mean.
Actually, you might have gone up to 10.
Neither of us have amazing strats.
You went up to 10 when you regen at the end of the game.
That's true.
I'll tell you one thing I was gonna do. I didn't think I needed to, which is why I didn't. But
Thank you.
Against the Tantalus,
yeah.
I was just gonna pop 2 SMS at it, do a single wound and then give +1 to wound.
Right.
So these guys would have been wounding on 3s, re-rolling. But I thought between all of their shots and the Seekers that I'd probably get you, and with these. So it was like, you know.
I would have vected it out of spite.
Oh, smart.
And then I rolled a 1.
And then, yeah, rolled a 1. And then you lose the CP and I don't, right?
Yeah.
That's the worst.
Well, he loses CP and your strat still goes off.
Yeah, that's it's double. You're right, you would have done it.
I would have.
That would have been epic. It really would have codified this game, you know?
Yeah. Kind of sad it didn't happen now.
Yeah, me too. I kind of feel ripped off.
All right, thanks. Nicholas, since Tau only interact in the shooting phase, do you think they should get access to stratagem or ability that ignores transhuman when it appears as though it will only show up more in future codexes?
Yeah.
I don't even know how you would write.
I think this is a great idea.
Interesting.
You couldn't write a rule like that because transhuman says ignore all other rules.
No, you could say like if this ability, if this model has a rule that says it can't be wounded on 1, 2, 3, blah blah blah. Ignore that. Like they could specifically call it out by name.
You can't. Transhuman says ignore all other rules.
I still don't think it says that.
It does. You have the Spaceman book right there. Look at it.
I refuse to look it up.
Me too.
But anyways, they could conceivably write a rule.
Yeah.
They make the rules. They could write a rule to do it. It might require more sentences than you would hope, but yes, they could do it. And I absolutely think they should do it. Everything should have a rock, paper, scissors.
No.
There shouldn't just be one ability that has no counter. That's why we think the Death Watch are so strong. It's like everything in the game, or Deathwing, sorry, everything in the game has to wound.
Yeah.
This army can't be wounded. It's like, well, at least if they had one thing that they were scared of, that would be good. It keeps them, it takes that ability and makes it not so crazy.
I'm afraid. I'm afraid of the Tau. They're so difficult to balance.
Oh, sorry, were we saying the Tau should have it?
Yes.
Oh, no.
They're saying because...
I was saying should the game have it.
Oh, no.
I was saying it should be a mechanic in the game.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Tau should have it.
Because Tau only have shooting, should they get to ignore an ability to ignore that?
They already have reroll wounds, which is just as good.
Yeah, that's true. That's a better way of...
Reroll wounds basically is what is that, to some extent.
Or auto wounding is what chat says.
Auto wounding,
with what, like all the missiles?
No, you'd have to pick a single weapon, like a rail rifle on a big tank or something.
Like one-shot auto wounds.
It would have to be a one-shot though, because you could choose like a... Like how many shots on a missile?
Like high-yield missile pods.
No, you wouldn't want to do it because you'd have a Riptide big gun. You'd have to do it with one shot.
Right.
No, but that's how the Necrons have it. They have one shot.
Yeah.
It's not one gun, it's one
shot. But
shot.
that's like, who cares? Like, again, you're killing one Terminator. I would
cute.
never spend a CP to kill a Terminator.
It's cute.
True. Well,
and they have an invuln, so again,
yeah.
I don't think that's. I think the rerolls are a better solution, personally.
Yeah. Anyways, I think that's an ability that should be in the game. Should Tau have it? As long as it was done in reason, I'm fine with it.
What if marker lights target someone and they turn off all their auras?
No, please stop.
Yes.
No.
All right, let's do it.
Before you say marker lights give -1
marker
damage.
light turns off all your special rules.
That's right.
Because it does that thing where it shines in your eye and you're like, oh, god damn it. And then you have no special
That's the
rules.
worst. Yeah, exactly. And it also takes away your faction, therefore your army's illegal and you just lose.
Yeah, that's right. You get a yellow card.
Yeah.
All right, moving right along. Thanks, William. Hey, Titans, you guys rock. What flavorful special units do you want to see with White Scars? Some kind of White Scars Sangard or Deathwing Knights?
Oh, honestly, we need a Primaris Captain on bike. We need a Corsaro Khan on bike.
If you just almost stopped there, I would be so satisfied.
Yeah.
Corsaro Khan on bike. Oh, I'm already happy.
Like,
you know what? I'd rather it's a Corsaro Khan on bike than a Captain on bike. You know why? Because then only they get it.
That's true.
But the bike captain, a Primaris bike captain would make me so happy.
That'd be amazing.
That'd be great. But I also want to see their 30K, what is it, the Keshig Terminators? The ones with the like cool glaives and everything like that.
Yeah, they're cool.
They're awesome. I think they should do more with their cyber eagles. They have a lot of the cyber eagles.
Falconer unit.
Yeah, I think
a Falconer.
I'm actually serious.
Like Stormcast Eternal
I think it's totally rad and fun. You could do some crazy stuff with it. You know?
Could you imagine if it just like spawned units into combat?
Yeah.
Like the Falconer unit, its shooting attack just spawns an eagle in combat.
It's the return of Razorwing Flocks, basically.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Anyways, they could do a lot with it.
They could, for sure.
And I feel like they could just even give them their war gear, their own special swords and their own special shields, their spears, things like that.
That's an army that could definitely use its entire like separate supplement.
Yeah,
like
for
you
sure.
know, like the new ones.
Yeah,
like Dark Angels.
And they could do things to make bikes, like I said, OPSEC, like they did with Ravenwing. So
that'd be cool.
It'd be cool.
All right, thanks, Josh. Hey guys, love the show. Wondering what do you guys think of Combat Patrol, like the 500-point games?
Oh, we've never done it.
So I think it's a great way to get started. Honestly, I think that's something that's really important. This is such a It's a steep hobby to get started. There's so much work you have to do, so much preparation.
You don't even know what to buy.
You don't know what to buy. So I think it's a great way to get people started. That's the number one thing.
I'm surprised it took them this long to do it.
Yeah,
to have like
honestly.
that one 500-point box.
Yeah, they've tried many tactics in the past, right? They used to have the older battle forces. Now the battle forces are sort of the bigger Christmas bundles, and so it's not meant to be a starter box. Yeah. They do have the start collecting, and this is sort of doubling into that, saying like, no, take this, play with this, just go do it, which is great. You know, I think it's awesome.
I haven't played the 500-point game.
Me neither. Yeah.
We should do it sometime.
That'd be cool.
Let us know if you think it's interesting for us to try it.
Yeah.
Maybe we try it on like a members day or something like that, just to see. I'm curious to see what it plays like. We played a 1,000-point game, and it was unbalanced, but still cool.
It was interesting because it was totally different.
Very different.
It was like, oh, there is like a meta.
It's a very different. It's a different game.
So
different units are strong.
Yeah.
If we played it, it should be you just get the box. Like you get your combat patrol box.
Oh,
we would pick a faction.
You can't just build your own 500 points.
That's what I'm trying to say. We'd pick a faction and we'd get it.
You should do the Death Guard one because it's actually illegal.
You
can't build a valid force.
It is illegal because it's more Poxwalkers than bubonic Custodes.
Yeah.
I
saw something posted recently that was like, it is legal because there's an extra body that you get from one thing, and it's like, sounds like it was an accident.
So they're saying if you like Ox to no, I don't understand. Anyways,
we should buy the boxes, build them, and paint them, and then play.
I already own all these models.
No, we have to do this like from scratch for sure.
Okay. Don't make me pay more. Sorry.
Are you saying you don't want to buy more Warhammer?
Not more start collectings.
Here's
I want more Forge World.
It's totally different.
Thanks, Omniscience Sphinx. I used to call the Imperial Guard the Pie Plate Army.
The Pie Plate Army.
That's true.
That's right.
Blast.
Yep.
Every time, I haven't now, this year, I haven't at all, but I used to play 2 or 3 30K games a year, and you can use the Apocalypse Barrage.
Yeah.
And it really teaches you why you love these things. Because you're like, ha.
They're so
here's
amazing.
I brought in a special case. Like, you know?
That's right.
You have a stand for it so it doesn't crush the models.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's so, the absurdity is so funny, and everyone is looking over like, what are these people doing? And you're like, yep, you're dead.
Yep.
That's the meme.
And it's so good. Because 30K, we don't play it competitively. It's all about just silliness. And in 30K, everything was so lethal, right? Legions clashing like that. And so it really kind of represents that in a way that I think is a lot of fun.
It's true.
Competitively, it's the worst mechanic ever.
It's horrible.
But in friendly play, I think it's a lot of fun.
As long as they're not Phosphex bombs.
No, they are Phosphex bombs.
Oh, you monster!
No saves for you.
There's like the Geneva Convention and stuff for that. What's wrong with you?
That's true. There should be a Geneva Convention against Phosphex.
There is the unspoken. Well, it's a spoken agreement, to be honest, in many Horus Heresy games to not play Phosphex bombs. Yeah. The
quad launchers with Phosphex.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Lil Lobo. How about making the Tau a real good shooting army that hits on 3-up and make marker lights a +1 to wound?
Whoa. Okay.
That'd be so good.
It would be too good. Let's be real.
That'd be insane.
Yeah.
It'd be too good.
Yeah.
+1 to wound is a big effect. Like even getting that once somewhere defines armies.
Yeah, no, I think the marker, like I appreciate the sentiment, which is giving them the BS, having the marker lights shift to do something else. But I think what's important about the marker lights, and I think is interesting to keep, is there's a gradation of like how useful they are, and the first ones are like relatively minor, and then the last one is good. It's not like game breaking, but it's very good. And just +1 to wound is like you're like going to 11 immediately.
And it's good, but it's on 1 unit, and almost nobody can ever get 5 marker lights 2 times.
Yeah.
And definitely nobody gets it 3 times.
Right.
Whereas you could get one.
You have to build them up.
Yeah, exactly. You have to build them up. So it'd be tough. But you know what would be funny in a way? Like the marker light table starts at 5, but there's been games when I've got to like 12 on a unit.
Yeah.
It'd be fun if there was like nothing between 5 and 10, but then something at 10.
Damage. Like every excess marker light does
they go right into his eye. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Turns off his auras.
Auras.
The laser.
But at 10, I just want something funny at 10. Like I roll on a table at 10 or something.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm with you.
Just make it more crazy. Like I get this special Tau slot machine, which is like a crisis.
Right.
I get to like ding, ding, ding. What do I get at 10? Give me something.
I like it.
So somebody in chat's asking, why is +1 to wound so important when +1 to hit is statistically the same? It's only statistically the same if they're like both 4-ups, right?
Correct.
If they're both 4-ups, +1 to hit, +1 to wound, it's equivalent, ignoring exploding 6s or something. But like wounding is a lot harder in Warhammer than hitting.
Because it's comparative, right? You're comparing your strength to your the toughness, and there's like this again, it's another gradation. And what happens when you do a +1 to wound is you skip an entire tier of those. Basically, it's almost like another. It's not exponential, but it's kind of jumping an order of magnitude.
Yeah.
And you're like giving yourself many, many more extra strength than you would have. So yeah, the math is a bit different.
Yeah, hitting is consistent in Warhammer. Like if you hit on 4s, you always hit on 4s.
Yeah.
But wounding, a tough thing, could be really hard to wound.
Right.
And if it just reliably isn't for you, then you're way too strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good question.
And even just re-rolling wounds, right?
Yes.
Is really, really strong. That strat that I kept burning there, so powerful. And that's why they had to take it away from Gilliman, like this aura of re-rolling wounds, because it's just so broken.
Exactly.
It's too good.
It negates and flattens the game too much.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the reason reroll all wounds is so powerful is that wounding is so hard.
Yeah.
So, like, wounding on 5s, rerolling everything is amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing, as we saw. Although I just rolled 5s the first time.
You missed a third of them the first time, and then you rerolled
and then
them.
I only missed with 1 after the reroll. It's so mean.
It's like, all right.
I thought it was going to take me to my last gun.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like, okay, cool, you've got like 6 wounds left. And, I chipped like another 3, and now I've got the 3 missiles, and I get through with 2 of them, and you got a 1-up, you got an invuln reroll.
The first turn, it was all of them going in, and you did 6 wounds.
Yeah.
And they're like, cool, that's a venom. And then you're like, 1 squad, that's a venom. That's not mad.
That's a Tantalus,
that's a Tantalus,
Although the difference was the indirect versus the direct.
Yeah, totally. For the Tantalus,
For the Tantalus, yeah.
All right, thanks, Ivan. Hello, my dudes. I was wondering what y'all think about the Psychomancer playability.
Yeah.
Just used them in a game with Space Wolves, and it did a lot.
They're really cool. It's funny,
I straight up love him.
Yeah, I know you do. We played him a lot in the beginning of the Necron book.
Yeah, because he's so weird and cool. But is he worse than the Technomancer and Chronomancer?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Is he still super fun and awesome?
Yes.
Yes.
Obviously. Yeah.
So he's not going to make it into your top-tiered tournament list, but will he make it into way too many of my casual list? Absolutely.
Yeah. He's fun because he has so many different abilities and like utilities.
Really catch your opponent off guard.
Yeah. The Smite thing is cool too.
He put out a ton of mortal wounds.
No, that is him.
That is him.
Okay, yeah.
He gets to put out the mortal wounds, and then you take the relic for even more mortal wounds. And then, if I'm really careful with him, he'll get in there and turn off your OPSEC. It's great.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Great model too.
When we used him, he did work.
No, he was great. It's the usual thing though. It's just comparing him against the other ones. Like the Technomancer, if you're taking him, it's because you need him for your army, for synergy. And the Chronomancer is just generally good with everything, right? So he's like the best one. So it's not that the Chronomancer is bad.
The problem is that you could always have two Chronomancers is good.
Yeah.
They
should have given them Photavirian rule. I don't know why they didn't.
That's right.
They fixed it later on.
They made it so that you can have 2 of them for 1 slot, but they're HQ slots. And they should have made it so you could have way more of them for 1 slot.
Like Are you guys talking about the Plasmancer?
Oh, that's the Mortal Wound one.
No. The Psychomancer has a relic.
He's a relic, but
it's not a relic. It's one of the upgrades.
Mortal Wounds.
Okay, you're right.
The normal ones. Yeah, we don't love. He's the worst.
I don't love the Plasmancer, but there's a ability to do mortal wounds with the Psychomancer that I really like.
It's one of the upgrades.
One of the Cryptic Arcana.
I would compare the Psychomancer to Tigurius. Situationally great.
He loves starting controversy, this guy.
Situationally great, but the other options are just more consistent.
Bridger, just
more
let
of the
people
time.
play what they want.
No, listen, I've come around here. Tigurius is good. I'm on the Tigurius bandwagon.
I want to compare.
You
Tigurius,
convinced me. Oh, where is he? I'm bringing him in every game now.
You can't even find him. He's still back on the shelf.
He's here. I'm bringing him now.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
No one's gonna beat him.
Situationally, he's amazing.
He's a cool model too.
No, he's like pretty just great.
I honestly never understood why they wear banners on their back. It feels like just a disadvantage. But that's a lot of things Space Marines do.
It increases morale.
Like I said, increases morale. I've been building my custom Azrael, and I'm like, I don't have any banners as big as the actual one, and I'm kind of okay with that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so cheesy.
It's kind of cheesy.
Yeah. It's like if you're in battle and you're scared, you're not doing so great. You look for Tigurius' banner, and he'll protect you.
Yeah, and then you wave at him, so he'll give you the -1 to hit.
And it's finger guns.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Cryte. Hey, Titans.
Hello.
What would you like to see in an Ork Codex? Personally, I want options. Vehicles and boy swarms are possible, but objective secure buff knobs for maybe more elite comps.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sounds like fun to me.
That's 100% it. The Ork Codex is like the Demon Codex, in which it's had periods in which parts of it are amazing.
Only parts of it.
Exactly, and the other parts are just really, really bad.
Like
trash
D tier.
Like
D tier.
If you guys want to check out our Speed Freaks game versus Black Legion.
That was mean. They were so bad. I had such high hopes, but I had fun either way because I was playing the boys.
You were Speed 1, so it was cool. But it's the same.
They didn't even know it was a battle.
Yeah, yeah.
They were just racing there, and Abaddon was like, "We must crush them," and they're just like driving around.
Oh shit! Yeah, what's going on? This is the big But that's the thing, right? So the book was like, oh, orcs are good. It's like, well, yes, a subsection of the book is, but the rest of it you don't get to play, and it's not fun as an orc player. So I totally agree. I think it's a big thing.
You know what I want? I just want one thing. Now, all the things can suck.
Okay.
I want the big. I want the big ones to really crumb. Like the bosses, the knobs, the whatever, all the big ones. Mega knobs, all the big orcs, I want them to be bigger, release them at least 50% larger,
right?
And I want them to crump.
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
I totally agree.
I want you to be able to say that I can't name someone that can best them.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like a tricked out orc boss should be the most ridiculous combat unit I can think of.
100% agree.
If you just gave that to me and the rest of the army's trash, I'd still have fun.
That's right.
I'd get crumping.
All right, thanks, Ajax. The Tau seem light on heavy support 9th. What if new broadside with limited shooting, but a jetpack for movement in the charge phase to claim objectives?
Ooh, that's dangerous. That's dangerous. So there used to be
that's tricky.
The Eldar Corsairs that could after they shoot, they would immediately move D6, and if you had a jetpack, it was D6 plus 3. And at the time, Overwatch is shooting, and it still is. So you'd be like, if I Overwatch you, D6 plus 3, they were unchargeable. Yeah. Unchargeable, absolutely. And so those are problems. So you have to be really careful when you design those kinds of rules.
Sounds great. Let's take it.
Yeah.
No,
I can give you like a mini fire and fade where it's like after you shoot, you can move D6. So you're also risking something where it's like you could be popping in and out of cover, but you could also fail that and suddenly you're stuck, right? Something to make it like not an automatic, like disengaging from playing with my opponent. Basically.
Yeah, right.
It goes against the design philosophy of the original broadside, which was a dude who plants his feet and shoots his guns.
He's like an overgunned suit. Yeah. And so he couldn't. Basically, what happens is they don't have enough energy in the suit to run a jetpack.
Right.
Because their like mega reactor is just trying to keep this overgunned suit like working. Jetpack. They would have to be bigger. They'd have to almost be getting into Ghost Keel size, which has a jetpack. But as far as giving it extra movement, I don't know. Maybe something like the Yavara, which is famously mega over jetpacked. It's literally got 2 jetpacks on top of its jet. Like it's got a jetpack on its jetpack, and then a jetpack on top of the jetpack on top of the jetpack. So it's if anything's going to get the extra movement, I'm giving it to that point.
Yeah. Fair.
All right, thanks, Trey. Building 3 Burnabombas tonight so I can bully some nerds.
Yes.
Burnabombas, yeah. That's a good way to lose your friends. We hate, like, you like that mechanic.
Me and Brian.
We hate this mechanic because we played, always, every time we play against it, it's always an elite army.
Yeah.
Not on purpose, it's just the way it happens. And it's always
a tough matchup, generally speaking.
You're right, it is a tough matchup. And it turns into, it's not that it instant wins for the orcs, but it's just way more efficiency for 1 CP than anyone has the business getting.
It's like 30 mortal wounds.
Yeah, and nothing in the game does anything like that.
Yeah.
Like even Wrath of Mars, which is egregious, does a third of that. Yeah, so
Adrian's like, and it's perfect, and I wouldn't change it at all.
See my previous conversation about parts of the Codex are broken, therefore people think that they don't need help.
Well, but you would rather the rest of the Ork Codex be better
100%
than just have this garbage.
Totally.
No, and feel bad mechanics are not fun.
No. Yeah.
All you would need to fix it.
Looks down at the...
Let it auto blow up, even without dying. Like, let it crash. I love the rule. It's cool.
Yeah.
But not flat 3 damage, bro. Like, D3.
Yeah. No, that definitely feels like an oversight. Because like the normal planes, it is D3.
Yeah.
But then it's like, hold on.
So D3 I'm fine with. It's still a bunch of mortal wounds.
Yeah.
It's very orky. You're still killing your own model.
Yeah.
I'm into all of that. Just not flat 3, man. Just make that go away.
All right. Yeah.
All right, thanks, Cap and Yort. Thanks to the guys who sent that Soulblight AOS list to Bridger. It's now my first AOS army. Ooh. What are things to remember in AOS as 40k player?
Ooh, remember that. So the command phase has started to train 40k players a bit better.
That's true.
But the fact that the hero phase happens before movement, so that's your psychic powers, it throws people off so much.
Ranges matter so much.
Yeah, you're always planning ahead.
If you're out of position, it's just over.
That's everything. So you're pre-measuring all of that.
That's right.
A turn before. That's the toughest thing. It's really cool because it's such an aspect of skill in the game.
Yeah.
But that's like my #1 for sure, coming from 40k.
You're right. Almost a lot of things about 9th edition are training you to play AOS.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas 9th edition is even more of an objective-based game, and AOS is a mega objective-based game.
It's the only thing.
You can build armies that kill nothing and still trounce your opponents.
Yep.
And many great armies do, right?
Yep.
And so there's that. I would also say that old 8th edition used to be a lot about first turn alphaing, and that was a big part of the game. AOS is still that's a big part of That's still big. You're either getting alpha on turn 1, or you're getting a person who's playing for the first double turn and trying to win off of that.
Yeah, it's one big play.
You do have to, it's one big swing, and you got to watch out for those and see those coming.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks, Alexander. Hey, Titans, I'm having trouble beating oppressive shooting armies like Guard and Astra Militarum. That's the same thing twice. And what else could AM be?
AdMech.
AdMech, yeah.
Those are both oppressive, yeah.
Even with Space Marines, any tips to surviving turn 1 other than terrain setup? Oh, but the answer was terrain setup.
The answer is terrain setup.
It is. Something's wrong if that's happening, turn 1 especially.
Deep strike your whole army. Null deploy and laugh.
And then deep strike and then lose everything. No, it is terrain. Listen, it's terrain. Like in this game, I had the crazy shooting. 100% of your models were hidden. If and even that wasn't enough. But if it wasn't for that, like, come on, like it would be silly.
Yeah. So I guess the lesson to also take away out of that is there is the terrain, which we're not commenting on technically, but make sure that you're not don't set up mega aggressively. Brian was out front of the wall.
I was aggressive.
You could be, right? Because you had drones. I was behind. Remember that moment where I was like, why am I 14 away? Oh, that's right, because I chose to be behind the wall, right? I chose to give up that movement because I don't know who's going first. That's a surefire way to lose half your army on a simple roll-off. So things like that, don't play overly aggressive in your deployment.
Right.
Which, of course, is linked to terrain, but yeah.
I thoroughly agree. With AdMech, AdMech is a really shooty AdMech is hard to stop. So if you're not able to, you have to beat AdMech by never giving them a good target.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
And every time you beat me when I'm AdMech, it feels like I never get to shoot.
Yep.
But when I do get to shoot, even one good turn, it's over.
Yeah.
Right? And one good turn into the heart of your army, the meat of it. But if you never let me shoot, you'll let me shoot with one of my 6 robots.
Right.
And it's like, it'll still wreck.
Yep.
But you'll be like, I can take that.
Yeah, exactly.
But you'll never give me the full 6. And when it is, we're like, oops, game over.
Right, yeah, because they're supposed to be oppressive as all get out when it's all 6 of them. That's part of their design. It's that fact that they're slow, they can't go through walls, it's not breachable. And so you have to keep that in mind that if you're taking all 6 of them, then something's already gone wrong.
Astra Militarum, there is something that gets them, which is -1 to hit.
I was going to say the same thing, yeah.
Yeah, -1 to hit gets them, and there isn't a ton of ways to get -1.
I can think of one.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm glad we got there. Tigurius, you did it again, buddy.
Today's sponsor is Tigurius.
All right, thanks, Novus. It's been amazing to rediscover 40K with the Titans. Wanted to say thanks. I last played back in the 90s.
Well, welcome back.
What have I missed?
Well, these are the broadsides you had at the time, and these are the new ones.
These didn't exist in the 90s.
Oh yeah, this is 2000, right?
It's early 2000s, yeah.
I believe it's 2001 in April. Actually.
Whoa.
Wow.
I would love that to be true.
with the call-outs.
That's right. But anyways, what's
nobody Google that.
The game's gone through ups and downs, right? It had good additions since then, and mostly dark times.
Yeah. I think the game is better than it's ever been.
Yeah.
I'll make that
claim.
There's
So the game is amazing, fantastic, cool community, amazing models, companies on fire. The only thing I would throw at 9th edition, I think we all agree here, it is by far the most complicated version of Warhammer they've ever written. Now, that comes with one big plus, one big negative. The one big plus is every army is dripping with personality. So unique, so special, so much flavor, cool. The downside is, if you're not doing it like a job, like us, it can be really hard to keep up with the rules because you have to know what your opponent can do if you're going to beat them. And knowing what your opponent's army, all the opponent's armies can do and yours, and thinking through the interactions. And some of those sticky combats that we find ourselves in where there's 25 overlapping competing rules, and you got to actually bring your lawyer and be like, hey, can you figure this out?
That's true.
That stuff is pretty tough.
Yeah.
But that's a trade-off of personality.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks. Michael started late because some grots took over Cosmos DB. I think I'm way behind on the Primarch ship bit. Bridger is still in a rom-com with Night Haunter.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think we just closed that chapter. Hopefully.
Did we though?
Hopefully.
We'll see what happens next time.
Listen, there's only one way out of that relationship, and it doesn't end well for you.
No. I refuse.
Unfortunately, the Night Hunter has no exes.
Well, none with any remaining flesh, at least.
I feel like if I can survive a divorce with Lorgar, I can make it through not dating the Night Hunter.
You would think that.
I would take Lorgar over the Night Hunter any day. I'll be honest.
I probably would too.
Yeah.
Out of the frying pan into the fire on that one.
That's right.
Thanks, Kieran. Hey guys, great show. I think that all the prototype weapon systems should just replace the base profiles as they are what the profiles should be.
Yeah.
Does that seem fair?
So it actually does seem fair to me.
Kind of, yeah.
And they've been doing this in other codexes.
I was going to say, yeah, this feels like... You could say this about a lot of the Psychic Awakening stuff, to be honest. It was like the Great Unclean ones, right? When they charge on a 4-up, they do 1 mortal wound.
Right.
And there's one of the Exalted abilities that makes it do D3 mortal wounds.
And Exalted ability to give a T8.
Yeah.
Like, all of these are things they should just do.
Yeah. So obviously there's a couple exceptions that might be too much. But overall, yeah, kind of.
Kind of. Yeah, pretty much. Like, oh, you had those high-powered incinerators that were 12-inch flamers.
Right.
Like, okay, yeah, all flamers are 12 inches. Like, they already gave that to the whole game.
Yeah.
So things like that, I think, are good examples. Like, burst cannons having exploding 6s. Who cares? Just give it to them.
Yeah.
I'm paying 30 points for 3 burst cannons on a crisis.
But what if they were upgunned?
You know what I mean? So
what's upgun?
Upgunned is the 6s to hit explode. So
come on, Brian.
Come
on, Brian.
You can't put anything over my head. I would catch it.
If you didn't say that, I was going to.
All right, last one of the night. Thanks, Joseph. Dear Brian, just ordered all 30 Sangard yesterday. No regrets.
I'm so sorry.
Love the kit. But what should I do with the other 10? Now you think death comes?
No. Oh man, that's too good.
Okay, well listen. Take one of them to build your ancient. One of them to build a better Dante. You know, take his bits. Yeah. Now you have 8 more. Build a 5-man squad. Because now you can have 25. And now we only have 3 more to deal with.
3 like individual models?
3 individual models. You can use their bits to make some characters.
Yeah.
Make some Venatari.
So wait, you're going to do the reverse? I made Sangard out of Venatari. You want to make Venatari out of Sangard?
Venatari are expensive.
That's true. Well, listen, I have the bodies and jump packs of a lot of Sangard if you want to make some Venatari.
That's amazing. Well, they're still great, so have fun with them. But yeah, there you go. You got lots of bits. I can always use bits, you know. You'll find a purpose for them.
That's true. They're cool bits. The one thing is the torsos are really cool bits. The legs I hate. They're always like they're in these awkward like half running, not jumpy poses.
This is
that's the thing I dislike about them.
We talked about this on the Conclave podcast I was on. We talked about the ab/butt knees that they have, and you're like, what? What is this?
It's awkward.
I'm not even sure how I'm supposed to be painting this.
Yeah, it's awkward.
Like, yeah. So.
Isn't that like a medieval painting pose where like the feet and the knees, they're doing that? That's a thing.
Sure. Okay.
That's a direct reference to a period of art, I guarantee.
I bet you we could find a painting that had that pose. So we'll give it to
That's true.
We'll give it to him.
Yeah. I saw a painting like that once.
Oh, there's one more. He snuck in. So we're just going to have to do it. Thanks, Ajax. Brian, would you ever consider running Tau Breacher spam on the channel? Enjoying 30 Tau with Dark Strider, 30 Farsight with Farsight. 2 ways to reroll wounds and 2 ways to give Tau set +1 to wound.
Yeah, so I think I would do that more often than not if I owned Breachers.
If you owned even 1 Breacher.
I don't even own 1.
Yeah.
But if I did, I would say almost every one of my armies would start with maybe 6 squads. That would be my default.
6 squads?
I would just start with 6 Breachers in at least 2 Devilfish or 3. So 3 is the maximum. The problem is you kind of always want some to hang back. But I would think, 6 squads in Devilfish. The way he's talking about it, it's better as 10-man squads because you're taking advantage of Dark Strider's ability. So whatever, maybe that would take you down to only 3 squads, which isn't as good, but it's still okay. Maybe at that point I would go to 5 squads, and I would have 3 of 10 and 2 of 5.
Yeah.
And I would have the 3 Devilfish, but that would kind of be just like a standard auto take for me.
You should do it.
I just don't own it.
This is your army, man.
It's I have a lot of armies. There's 40 infantry, and they're actually pretty detailed little guys.
They are.
So maybe if the person who painted this for me ever had like an open slot,
good luck.
I would get it. But I don't think he would. If I was like, hey, would you like to paint 40 infantry? He'd be like, hang up. So
I'm busy that day.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody wants to paint a bunch of detailed infantry. So
I feel you.
All right. Well, we really hope you like this. Let us know how you like the Q&A. We think it actually feels better. So we'd love to hear your thoughts.
Absolutely. Yeah, we wanted to kind of just separate it out a bit. So as we mentioned, we will have another game Saturday, same time. As always, it's going to be Custodes versus Mixed Eldari. Definitely check it out there.
It's going to be a cool game.
It's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll see you guys there on the tabletop.